News writing is a form of journalism that involves the process of gathering, organizing, and presenting information in a clear and concise and objective manner. So it means whoever wants to write a news should follow this procedure, and somebody should be very, very objective. Objectivity is the bedrock of any news. So going to the next is that the primary objective or goal of news writing is to inform the public about current events. What is current events? Something that is happening on daily basis or regular basis, because news happens every hour, every second, and even if there is something that is below seconds, we call it race. News happens at all that time. So it is typically follows a standardized structure. It typically follows a standardized structure. There is specific structure for any news writer, news presenter, or news broadcaster that should be followed. So essentially, you need to know that format. That format, one of them, we call it inverted pyramid format. In this inverted pyramid format is where the most essential information is presented at the beginning of the story. We call it lead or sometimes headline. When we call it headline, the headline must be the summary of the whole story that you are going to present to your readers, to your viewers, or to your listeners. Secondly, the next is the lead. The lead is the paragraph, if it is in print media, that follows the lead. Or if it is in radio, television, what we call broadcast media, is the next paragraph that the reader or the presenter is going to read. So essentially, it's very, very important to know that. And additionally, details should come in descending order. After the most important one as a headline, the second one as a lead, then the other information will be coming gradually, step by step, so that the readership or the viewership or the listenership will be retained. So, to continue, let's look at the key characteristics of news writing. News writing has its own characteristics. It has its own procedure. Let's talk about the characteristics. The characteristics of news writing include accuracy, impartiality, and clarity. What we mean here, any news that you are going to read or you are going to write must have all such qualities. If one of such qualities is missed, that news cannot be called a standard news. Either it is a written, or you are reading it, or you are broadcasting it in television. So journalists strive to report the facts without bias, and it provides context for readers to understand. Any journalist should be somebody that is not biased. Anything that you report should take away yourself from that report. Just behave like a pipe that the water just will pass to you and go. So even if you are a party to a particular issue, when it comes to reporting, you have to be as genuine as possible. You have to be impartial. Bias should not be there. So the next thing is the significance of the news. The significance of the news is also very, very important to taking that your bias away. This style of writing is commonly found in newspapers, online news, articles, and televisions. This kind of story we have said through inverted pyramid style. As we said, the format in inverted pyramid structure, news articles often start with the most critical information, with all comprising what we call 5 W's in news gathering. What we mean by 5 W's is we say who, the person that is involved in that particular issue. The next one is what the issue is all about. You have to understand it and you have to dig it. And where, it means a journalist or a storyteller who is making a report should know where the particular things happen. The next one is when it happened, the very time it happened, and why such thing it happened. These 5 W's should be well accumulated and well understood. So for further understanding, I urge you as a news writer, as a student of mass communication or journalism or a line news practitioner, you should endeavor to research more and more so that you will know more about these 5 Ws. Some people say 5 Ws and H. So you can add and you can do research and understand very well. And gradually provide less important details. This structure allows readers to grasp the main point quickly. Another characteristic of news, any news or news writer should be very objective to present information without taking sides. It's very, very important for a news writer to know that he doesn't have a side. He should be as factual, as bias free as possible. Personal bias should be removed. News writers mostly rely on facts and sources to provide a balanced view of the story. If you have a story that involves more than one person, as a news writer or as a reporter, you have to endeavor to hear from all the sides. Like what court says, out the ultimatum, hear the other side. Here in journalism, we have such process. You have to hear from the other side and balance the story so that the story will not be one-way traffic. It will be a comprehensive one as you hear from all the aspects, from all the parts that the story involved. So before I go, I will gladly tell you we are going to have a little advert, then we'll come back after this commercial time out. Welcome back. I hope you are still enjoying this program with the aim of rebuilding the capacity of journalists and even training the students of journalism everywhere you are in Africa. Our hope is to see a new generation of African journalists and online media practitioners. So the next article or the next characteristic is called attribution. Any news writers typically attribute information to sources such as officials, experts, or eyewitnesses. This helps establish credibility and transparency. So attribution is to tell who says that what you're saying. That's why we say who says what, when, and how. You have to, anything you put up, you must come down and tell your reader or your listener who says that. The next one is the headlines. Catchy headlines are very, very important to grab the attention of newsreader. Catchy and the concise headlines are used to grab readers' attention and provide a snapshot of the story. If you have a catchy headline, it will attract people to read their stories. Either it is on newspaper or it is on television or radio. So the next one is the lead. As we have said it, lead is very important. The first paragraph or lead summarizes the most critical aspect of the story and is critical for enticing readers to continue reading. The next paragraph after the headline is lead. If you write it very well, it summarizes the whole of the story and it will entice the news readers or listeners to keep going without even feeling that they're tired of such particular item. The next one is incorporating quotes. It's good for a news writer to be incorporating quotes, at least to be quoting the authorities. What I mean by quoting the authorities is quoting the people that said what, where, and how, particularly on the issue that requires speciality. So actually moving to the next one is fact checking. After writing all you write, you must come and check it properly. News writers are expected to verify the accuracy of their information through multiple sources to avoid spreading false or misleading information. Any information you gathered, you must check it and cross-check it to find out that that source of news is a genuine one. For instance now, if you are lifting news from other papers for you to publish it online, what you need to do, you have to check multiple sources. For instance, the newspapers that are very popular in a particular country, check like 5, 6 to 10. If you find this information in all of such media, so you'll be convinced that such information is not a fake news so you can broadcast it to the other, or you can rebroadcast it, or rewrite it, or rebroadcast it to the other listeners or readers. Timeliness. So this is very important also. News is about current events. News is about current events. People always need to or like to hear something new as it happens in hourly, in every minute, or in every second. So news articles are written and published quickly to ensure they are up to date. Any news that you have, make sure you write it, publish it, or broadcast it quickly so that it will be up to date before other media platforms do it. So, relevance. News stories focus on issues that are significant of interest to a wider audiences or readers. This one too is very important. It has to be noted. Editing and proofreading. News articles are typically reviewed for grammars, spellings, and clarity to ensure the quality of writing. Every news you write, before publishing it, make sure you proofread it, go through it over and over, and even send it to somebody that is more knowledgeable in terms of language to read it, help you proofread it. That's why we have editors in the formal media organizations. So remember, before we round it up, you have to remember that the standard and practice of news writing can vary by publication and country, but the core principles of accuracy should be there. The core principles of objectivity and timeliness should be there, even though there is what we call in-house style. Despite all the in-house style in any country, in any region, or in any place, such accuracy, objectivity, and timeliness should be constant. That one is what we call is non-negotiable. So thank you very much for watching Time-Based TV. I hope this training will at least will help you to build your capacity in this direction. On behalf of all the crew that I have for this production, I, Abasani, saying thank you very much. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share Time-Based TV Africa. Bye for now.